Hello, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday morning, and it is time for the live show. I should just double check that I'm going live in the right place. So this is the Tuesday with Mrs. Tucker. This is our Tuesday normal time for our free training weekly, where I answer all your questions that you have been asking throughout the week. So, I'm checking the wrong spot. Okay, I think we're live. If you are here with me live, let me say good morning and let me know where you're joining me from. If it's crazy early where you are, or it's not 9:30, or it is 9:30. All right. Oh, great. Good morning, Mindy. Good morning. Oh, are you tagging people? Good job. Good job tagging people. All right, so today is I think we're on episode 10 already in our little group for our Tuesday training. And today we're going to talk about movement and exercise and activity and recovery and all things moving. Okay, so drop me some fire if you are fired up and excited about this topic. Maybe today is a good day for some other emojis. There's that strong looking leg. There's the bicep one. There's that little weightlifter person that's super cute. If you love emojis, drop me some emojis and let me know if you are excited about this topic. So I've gathered up the questions that you guys have asked since I asked you to ask questions, and I'm going to answer all those today, as well as some of the things that just over the last 10 years, I know people are asking. And feel free to ask more questions today. And if you can't join me live, if you're watching me on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Or if you are watching me, somewhere else, like a YouTube or something, subscribe and like this video so that I can keep bringing more to you. And wherever you ask your questions, I'm going to answer them. That's what I'm here to do. So, if you're I don't know how to apply that, or I'm confused, or I have a more specific question related to that, ask them. Ask them. That's the only way you're going to get more from me is to ask, okay? So I would love to answer more questions for you because that's what I'm here to do. That's what gets me excited. All right, so let's hop into it. So movement. All right. Whenever we move, no matter what we're doing, we want to warm up, okay? I worked in gyms for a long time, and I do see people that just show up and start sprinting on the treadmill, or don't do any cardio at all and go straight into weightlifting. Have you seen those people that they walk in, you see them drop their bag, or you see them go into the locker room and come out and they hop right onto some heavy weight machine, and there's no warm-up set, there's no body weight set first, they're just bam, pin in, heavy weight, 5 reps, craziness. So a way to think about warming up your body is our body has a lot of muscles in it, right? So if you ever cooked a steak, or the piece of meat, you hopefully can relate to this. So when you take the steak, think of the steak that's in the freezer and you're going to take it out to defrost, right? That sucker is frozen, right? Now we might be not quite that cold, but even a steak that you are taking out of the refrigerator, that, right, we normally let it warm up to room temperature before we cook it, right? We need to let it warm up. We need to get the juices flowing all evenly in the meat before we cook it, right? Same idea with our workouts. We need to get the blood flowing. We need to warm up our muscles, okay? So that steak, right, if you tried to use, it's brittle, right? It doesn't bend. It's not malleable, pliable. It's gonna rip. Basically, guys, your muscles are gonna rip and we're gonna get hurt. And so that's a lot of injuries can be prevented by warming up first. So I suggest at least 10 minutes of warm up. All right, so that can be walking up I used to also have people come to the gym and be like, oh, I walked the dog before I left the house. Oh, I've been running around all day. I'm warm. Running around all busy, moving and busy is different than doing specific things to get your body ready for the kind of workout you're going to do. All right. Overall, cardio would be great to do. We want to ease into that too, though, for your warm up. So you're not going to start sprinting. You're going to walk at least a few minutes. We're not going to start that crazy incline. We want to get hot. We want to get sweaty. We want to get a little out of breath. Then you've warmed up. Okay. Stretching is also great to do once you've warmed up. So you can warm up for a few minutes, like 10, and then stretch for a few minutes to get those muscles nice and pliable, and then jump into the official part of your workout. Also, I love the foam roller. I used to teach a class that was foam roller and stretch straps, and I missed that class. The foam roller is amazing. It is kind of like getting your warm up and your stretching in the same moment. Because you're stretching your muscles as you're rolling on them, and you're helping bring blood flow to the muscles. So we want to get those muscles nice and toasty and warm, basically. All right. So if you are, let's say, doing a upper body workout, we want to get the whole blood flowing, through our whole body first. But then it would be awesome if you did some lightweight exercises to get the blood specifically to that upper body stuff that you want to work. So I have certain like dynamic stretches and things and inchworms, and we could do push-ups. You can do counter push-ups, different things to get your blood flowing to the muscle groups that then you want to like really focus on that day. So if you've ever heard of like the warm-up set, like that's your lighter weight. Maybe you're doing 20 reps of body weight something before getting into like a heavier set. So like I know a lot of you have probably heard about, good morning, Hildy. Thanks for joining. A lot of you have maybe heard about like the 3 sets of 15 reps. We can go into this. So that's kind of like a typical strength training. I don't know what the word is for that. Workout? Maybe it's just typical, like, format. There we go. A typical strength training format is to have 15 repetitions of an exercise and 3 sets of it with rests in between, okay? Oh, why is this thing making noise? Let me just make sure it doesn't distract me with that again. Because y'all know me, I can easily get distracted. So, all right. I don't know why the computer is giving me extra alerts. Like, I'm just supposed to give me this right now. I'm sorry. Okay. So strength training. So that 15 reps is an amazing number to hit. By doing 15 repetitions, that is a higher rep number, okay? You are never going to bulk up. You are never going to pile on muscle and get manly looking by doing 15 repetitions. I know a lot of women are nervous about holding heavier weight because they're like, oh no, I don't want to get big. It is hard to get big, people, okay? To get big, you need to do low repetitions with the highest weight you can do, all right? So we're talking like 5 repetitions. There's no way you can do a 6th one, all right? That kind of heavy. So even if you are holding 10, 15, 20 pounds, let's say, whatever you're doing, if you can do 15 repetitions in a row without resting, that is not heavy, okay? So don't get worried about holding heavier weight. It is only going to help you, okay? If you can do, I would say for most women's goals of toning, strengthening, and weight loss, we want to have at least 10 repetitions, okay? So that's why often like 12 is a nice number too. If you can definitely make it to 12 repetitions of something, let's say we're doing squats and we're holding these dumbbells, okay? Or we have a bar, whatever we're holding. If you can get to 12 to 15, then don't worry. Don't worry. If you can get past 15, you can go heavier. You can go heavier, and you're not going to bulk up. All right? Let me know if that makes sense or if you have a question about how much weight you need to be using, or if that answered it. Because that's the basics of like strength training right there. If you want to add muscle, add mass to your muscles, you have to be using heavier weight, right? So here's a good example. Your booty. If we wanted to kind of like pop that booty a little bit, we need to add muscle there, okay? So we would need to be, so when I train women for the butts, we need to be using, and they want that like that nice little bubble going on there. We need to be using heavy weights to get there, because we need to add muscle in that spot to get it to do that. So that is not the kind of workout where I have them do something for a minute, and 30 repetitions. That is more toning, strengthening kind of work. And that will also work if you're only doing 15 repetitions, okay? So heavy weight means that you can't do, more than 5, 6, maybe 8 reps, okay? So whenever you're doing strength training, we want to be holding heavy enough weight for whatever your goal is. Like even if you're going to do the 15 to 20 reps, the high repetitions with the lower weight, hold heavy enough weight that the last 3 repetitions feel impossible, okay? Like there's no way I can do it, but somehow I did. That's how heavy and how hard you want to make whatever you're doing for strength training, okay? So imagine it like your car, right? There's the fuel gauge. And when your fuel gets, like the light comes on, right? That happens, right? So your light comes on and it's like, oh, I need to get to the gas station. And you're like, oh, I know I have 50 miles. I'm just going to go home and I'll get gas when I go back out, right? Because we know we can keep going, even though the car is like, oh, no, please put gas in us. The light came on. So that's the same idea with our body. Our body, let's say you get to 10 or 12 reps and you're like, oh my God, that's so heavy. That's so hard. Like, oh, I should stop. Your body wants you to stop. It wants you to conserve that last little bit. When the light would turn on, it wants you to hold on to that because it's worried. Like, oh my gosh, you're going to use all your energy right now? Like, I don't know if we should be doing that. Like, it wants to hold on to it. So when you feel like you can't do more, you normally can do 3. And those 3 are the most important ones to get you to progress versus to keep you where you are right now. Okay? So when you're working out and we're working on strength training, no matter how heavy, how light, how many repetitions, what the plan is there, we want to work hard enough that those last 3 feel like, it's impossible. That's why normally the trainers there go, you can do it, right? We're also there to like spot you in case you drop something, because it's that hard. Like it's the shaky ones, You ever do exercises to where you're like, I'm shaking, I need a little support, a little like someone watching me, making sure. Like that's what we want, and we want 3 of them. All right? So use that as a rule of thumb to decide how much weight to be holding and how many repetitions to be doing. Okay? I hope that helps. Mindy says, I want to replace fat with muscle. Yes. So, as we all do. But I don't want to replace all my fat with muscle because then I'd still be too big. Laugh out loud. Oh, you stop it. Stop it. Okay, so it's really hard to lose all our fat, right? And I wouldn't worry about that. And we want to put, if we're working for weight loss, we still want, normally, if you haven't been working out much, like strength training much before, we're gonna want to put on some muscle to help burn the fat, okay? This is a good topic too. I don't even think I had a note about this. Muscle and fat take up different amount of space and weigh different amounts, okay? So fat, let's say this is 5 pounds. This part. let's say this is 5 pounds of fat, okay? I don't have another thing. I don't have a good thing to, okay. So 5 pounds, it weighs 5 pounds, but it takes up this much space, all right? So the 5 pounds of muscle, let's say it's only half. It's this part of the vase, okay? We can get rid of this part. It still weighs 5 pounds though, all right? But it takes up a lot less space. Wouldn't that be great, right? We want to get smaller, but we're probably going to get a little denser. And that denser mass on us, that muscle, is going to actually burn more calories all day long and all night than having the fat on you, okay? So I love that. I mean, it's so empowering to know that, right? That muscle weighs more than fat, and thus it is smaller than fat. So that's another reason, if you feel really attached to the scale still, go back and watch that training that I did about the scale and about how to not be scared of it, be emotionally connected to it, other ways to track your progress. Like wouldn't you still be happy if you were the size you wanted and the same weight? Like if you looked the way you wanted to look, like would it matter what the scale said that you weighed whatever? Right? Like, so when you start strength training, you are going to see more progressed weight loss, but not necessarily right away if you're only starting with workouts and not looking at your nutrition first. But I know workouts are a great way to get going, to feeling healthy and getting some quick wins. So I am all for starting with workouts and then slowly working on the nutrition stuff after a couple weeks. Because we need to take baby steps, right? Right? That was like our whole thing a few weeks ago, was we need to take those baby steps, but I know we need to get those quick wins too. So yes. So we want to get smaller and denser, and that muscle is going to burn more calories all the time, to help you. So it's kind of like ever hear when people say like, oh, I'm waiting for my muscle to, eat the fat, right? Like it's like that kind of idea, which is like, it's true. It's true, because your muscle takes more to maintain. There's more going on in the muscle. There's more cells, doing stuff. They're like bumping and moving and working. Whereas with the fat, right? Fat's kind of just chilling. It's like, so we want more of the muscle cells and less of the fat cells, because fat cells can also like get poofy with like more fat, and that's how we get a little bloated looking. So yes. So strength training can be very, very, Sarah had a question about this. I don't know if I have it on here. Sarah had a question about, or a mindset thing about adding in strength training when we know that cardio is helpful for weight loss. Oh, that's kind of the topic I have over here. I'm trying today with like bullet points versus like a script because if you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist and I like to like have a script written, but today, no. Today we're just going with bullet points. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about cardio and strength training and calorie burn there, okay? So cardio has different goals than strength training, right? And cardio is going to burn calories in the moment and 4 hours after you stop, because your heart rate is elevated more. So, like if you're sitting around in the morning and you're not doing anything, your heart rate is one way, right? Then we work out and our heart rate elevates for our workout. Then after you're done working out, doing your cardio, your heart rate will drop back down, but not quite to where it was in the morning when you had just woken up and it was lower. It will stay elevated for 4 more hours. So as your body recovers from your cardio workout, you're going to burn more calories for those 4 hours. Here's the exciting part. Strength training will break down your muscles during your workout. So you're going to burn calories during that workout, but then you're going to burn more extra calories as it recovers for 24 to 48 hours, sometimes even up to 72 hours. We get to burn so many more calories for so many more hours. And that is, if we did the strength training correctly, how we were talking about earlier, where we are really breaking down our muscles so that they can rebuild stronger. All right. It takes a lot of energy for your body to grow that muscle back together. Now, I know that made it sound like you're getting injured, but when you strength train, you're making tiny, tiny, tiny tears in the muscle. Okay. And then they have to regrow stronger than they were before. And that's how it gets a little bigger and a little stronger, because you broke them down to build them back up. Okay. So while that's happening, your body needs fuel, and it's going to burn a lot of calories trying to make that happen. Side thought just about this is, so your body will always decide to do what I just talked about. We broke down your muscle and it wants to rebuild it. If you are sick, because right now it's like flu season and there's a pandemic, if you are under the weather, strength training is not your friend, okay? Because it's gonna choose to rebuild your muscle versus do something else, and the something else would be fight your cold, okay? So when you are under the weather, light cardio is okay, because most likely if you can't breathe, right, whatever's happening, if you don't have energy to do it, right, or you only have so much energy, you're only going to be able to use the energy available, right? You're only going to be able to run so far. You're only going to be able to walk so far. You're only going to be able to go so hard so long. If you don't feel good, you're going to stop. The strength training is what everybody kind of wants to do when they don't feel well, because they're like, oh, I don't feel well, but I can just stand here and lift some weights, because it doesn't take quite as much energy in the moment. But for 2 days, you're going to be rebuilding your muscles, and your body's going to choose to do that. So during those 2 days, you know what happens? Everybody gets really sick because you were under the weather, and now you're full-blown cold, full-blown sick, whatever it is going to be. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense. Please because because I don't want you all to get sick right now. And so if you are not feeling 100%, strength training is not the thing to do right now. Put it in the comments. Let me know you heard it. Okay, so that was my side note about. So we were talking about cardio and strength. Yep. Okay, so we talked about the calorie burn, the difference between the cardio and the strength training. So here is just a little thing that I didn't realize everybody didn't know about muscles. So for strength training, we just talked about how you're going to burn extra calories while you're recovering. But your muscles recover at different speeds. Okay, and that's why I said 24, 48, maybe 72 hours of recovery. So your larger muscle groups are going to take the longest time to recover. Okay, your smaller muscle groups are going to take less, and then your even smaller ones and your abs are going to take the least. So abs and core, stuff in the middle, are going to take 24 hours to recover, which means no matter how hard you worked, within 24 hours, you should be safe to be doing it again. Yay! That means that we can do sit-ups and planks and core stuff every day, and we'll be safe, okay? Not that you have to do it, but it's safe to do it. Your smaller muscle groups, like your biceps, your triceps, shoulders, like all the little pieces of your shoulders, all your different delts, your calves, inner thighs, outer thighs, these are smaller muscles. Those are going to take 24 hours to recover. And then your larger muscle groups, like your chest, your back, your thighs, so your quadriceps, the front, and your hamstrings, the back, and glutes, booty, those are your largest muscles, okay? And they're going to take 48 hours to recover, depending on how hard you worked and how much you broke down the muscle. It could take 72 hours. So you know when like you can't go to the bathroom because you're trying to sit down, you're like, oh my god, my legs, that workout was insane. That's your body trying to recover. Okay, the sore, that's your body recovering. Once you're not sore, you're not recovering. Then you can do it again. Yes, that and the sore part is also a lactic acid buildup in your muscles, and the foam rolling that we talked about earlier can be very helpful to pushing that lactic acid out of the muscles and into your bloodstream, and then you pee it out, and then you feel better. Yes. Also light body weight exercises, because if you're just looking to start working out, you're gonna get sore. You're gonna get sore right away, and it's okay. But don't let that stop you in a couple days from trying again. But when you try again, if you're still really sore, you just want to do body weight exercises to help push that lactic acid out of your muscles, so that you feel better and you're not necessarily breaking it down further. You can do that on the next one. So because your muscles have different recovery times, we have like our core, we have our small muscle groups and our large muscle groups. That is a way to decide what you're going to do when. All right. So if you are working hard, working with enough weight, we're working with our 12 to 15 reps where we are not bulking, but still strength training and toning. You can have a large muscle group day, then a small muscle group day, and then, cardio and core, and then go back to your large muscle groups. You could have it where you do like upper body, lower body, core. There's different ways to break it up, okay? Because our different muscles are going to take a different amount of time to recover and to be ready to work out again. If you are working the same muscle groups heavy enough every day, or doing the exact same workout every day, they're not having time to recover. And the recovery is really important because we're breaking down our muscles, right, during our workouts. No matter what kind of workout it is, you're breaking your muscles down to some degree, and they have to rebuild stronger, right? And then they're recovered. If we don't let them rebuild, we're breaking them down, pulling it apart a little more, and then you get hurt. Then you get injured because there's sore, right, that little bit of tear. Then there's, it doesn't even matter what order it goes in, but like sprain, strain, pulled, ripped, right? All words with varying degrees of how much you ripped your muscle, right? And we don't want to do that. We don't want to rip our muscles. We want to have the little tiny tears that strength training gives us, and then they rebuild stronger. If they're not rebuilding stronger, you're just going to get weaker, literally weaker, physically weaker until you get hurt. So you definitely want to recover. So look at the topic even right there. So we're going to need recovery days or recovery workouts. So if you are all gung-ho and you're like, I want to work out constantly, because it can be really great for your brain and your mindset too. You definitely want at least one day off. 1 to 2 days off, but you can still move on those days. Okay. Don't feel like you can't, like you have to just sit around and like be a blob on the couch, lay like vegetables, lay like broccoli. No, you certainly can, but you don't have to. It could be a lighter workout. It could be a more restorative workout. It could be more like yoga, or it could be Pilates. I do Pilates in a tough, hard fashion where it's not so restorative. It's more like my workout. But you could do a gentle one. Something different from your norm, okay? So recovery can mean different things to different people, and we want it to be for our brain as well as our bodies. So if that is like a gentle hike out in nature, versus like hit the iron in the gym with the tough music kind of thing, it could be it could be gentle swimming, which a lot of people, if you're swimming now, maybe the thing is more something on land. Give me some ideas. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It could be just stretching. It could be coming to one of my stretch classes. We use a stretch strap, and I have a few versions. I have like a beginner, intermediate, and advanced version. Right now on the schedule is the intermediate version. So it is a class where my beginner version, you never have to get on the floor. We stand or we sit in a chair or we hold a chair. The intermediate version does get on the floor. And we use stretch straps, and our legs go all crazy places on the floor. hit my hair. And then the more advanced version is closer to more gymnastics and like dancer stretches. So there is more like learning how to do splits and like deeper, longer, held stretches. Anyway, but right now the intermediate version's on the schedule, and I really, if you can get up and down off the floor once, then you can do the intermediate version. Anyway, so stretch, and I have found several times, one of the hypotheses that I tested out, a theory that I had, was about weight loss and stretching. And I found that when I stretched, I'd gotten injured a couple times, and I was like, I wonder if I just stretch instead of working out, because I couldn't do like I couldn't sit on the bike, I couldn't do the elliptical. I'm looking over here at my arc trainer. An arc trainer is kind of like an elliptical. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do much. And so I stretched every day for like 45 minutes. Do you know how much weight I lost that week? I was like, what happened? Like, I didn't even really work out. Like, so stretching, I'm telling you, stretching can really help with weight loss too, if that's your goal, but it's also super important for your muscles. So whatever makes you feel well-rounded, rested, that's what we want for our recovery. Okay. We talked about strength training, working out to fatigue. I call it to fatigue when you can't do more than those 3 reps, right? At the end, we do those 3 and like the last one, and then then you're done. We want to get to that, nearly impossible spot. Cardio basics. Oh, we didn't talk about cardio basics. We talked a lot about strength training basics. So really quickly, cardio basics. If you are trying to work out for cardio, that means you need to be in your target heart rate zone, okay? Which means at some point it'd be great to take your heart rate, okay? And if you would like to know your target heart rate zone, you could put it in the comments or message me, and I will let you know what your target heart rate zone is, because it's different for everyone based on your age. And there are a few different equations for it, but I can give you like a baseline area. So we want to be in our target heart rate zone. If we are just elevating our heart rate but never getting to our target heart rate zone, that is when something is more like movement or activity. Okay? For instance, like walking, let's say we're not out of breath, we're not going up and down hills, it's not that challenging, right? That is like activity or movement, which is very important and better than not doing it, but I don't want you to get it in your head that you're doing cardio. You're just moving. But moving is great. And if that is where you are and that's what your plan was for the day, great, okay? But it's not technically cardio. And when something is cardio and is where we get our heart rate to our target heart rate zone is when we're getting the benefits of doing cardiovascular activity. It strengthens our cardiovascular system. So it strengthens our heart and our lungs. And that's why we need to get out of breath, okay? So if you don't know how to take your heart rate or don't have a heart rate monitor or something that you can hold the handles and find out your heart rate, like the watch that takes your heart rate, you don't have to have any of that stuff. You could work out hard enough that if you called somebody, this is the way to do it. If you were on the phone with someone and you were doing cardio, you want them to know you're doing it. Like, you can have the conversation with them, but you're like, they can hear it. You're like out of breath, but not so out of breath that you can't have the conversation. If you absolutely cannot speak, you're not getting enough oxygen, and you're working too hard, and we shouldn't be in that spot, which is above your target heart rate zone, for more than like 2 minutes, 3 minutes max, okay? We can work hard in spurts where you are totally out of breath and couldn't have a conversation, but you do not work that high, that hard, that long, okay? So normally it's going to take 5 to 10 minutes, like your warm-up, to get you into your target heart rate zone. Once you get to your target heart rate zone, that's when your timer starts on I'm doing cardio, because only once you get there are you actually starting your cardio. And that might, depending on the time of day, depending on your mood, depending on how hard you're working, it might take 15 minutes. So once you get past your warm up and now you're in your target heart rate zone, then you can be like, okay, now I'm doing cardio, and your goal should be 20 minutes. Okay? It would be wonderful to be in your target heart rate zone for at least 20 minutes. Then you can have a little cool down where you bring your heart rate back down gently. Don't just jump off the machine and sit down. Slow it down. Slow it down. Then come off or come in or get out or wherever you are to rest. Okay? So that is just a little bit about target heart rate zone and cardio. Oh, hey, Curtis. Yes. So this I wanted to make sure I talked a little bit about your question about walking. So walking is super fabulous. I love walking. I don't love running. At this point, like I have an injured foot that is just slow to recover, and I can't take that impact on it. And the other thing is that you guys don't ever have to do high impact activity to get your heart rate up. Okay, you can come to my Saturday class. I have a low impact cardio class. Our heart rates can get just as high as if we were jumping without jumping. Okay. I love that class. It's like everyone's favorite class because I think it's because we don't have to get hurt. You know, we don't have to feel like our hips, our knees, a lot of people's knees, right? Our low backs, like none of that stuff has to hurt with high impact stuff to get our heart rate up into that target heart rate zone. So that's the goal of your cardio, is to get into your target heart rate zone if you want to be improving your cardiovascular system. But our bodies are meant to move. Whatever gets you guys moving, do it. Like, just don't get it in your head that you're working out at such a level that like you're gonna go eat pizza and it's gonna balance each other out. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying, I guess it's a little bit tough love, but also like, not like you have to do more than you're doing if you're just walking. Like walking is like super fabulous for your body. It gets your blood flowing. It doesn't up your heart rate. Like we're moving. If moving is better than not moving. Okay, our bodies were meant to move and we should move. So don't not move just because it's not considered like a workout or like intense exercise. It all adds up throughout. I like to think of things in a week or a month. Like not like, oh my God, I didn't do it today and feel like terrible about myself for not moving enough in one day. But over the week, did I move 3, 4, 5 days this week? Were some of them harder? Were they workouts and some of them just movement and just some of them activity? Or, like take things little bits at a time. Okay, guys? Take little steps at a time. Oh, thanks, Curtis. Curtis says that he had super fun in the Saturday class with me. Yeah, I love the cardio class on Saturday. It's a good time. I can't wait to figure out how to get like music involved in our workouts. Right now on Zoom, I don't have music, guys. You guys can have music in the background if you want. But I haven't gotten that techie to figure out how to get music in there. But we still have fun without it, which is awesome. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I'm trying to make these shorter for you, these Tuesday trainings. I just want to make sure I went through everything. Oh, I didn't go through everything. Okay, so before and after your workouts, right? If we do that little bit of cardio and then we warm up our muscle, however you want to move your body to warm up, to get your heart rate elevated, to get a little hot and sweaty, to get a little out of breath, then it would be great to stretch your muscles before you do anything intense. All right, so even if you're going back to like heavy cardio now or strength training or a HIIT workout or whatever it is you're doing, a little bit of stretching in there would be great. And then after your workout, whatever your workout was, doesn't matter what it was, stretching again. Okay, this is this moment where it can help bring your heart rate down while you're still moving. And really the idea is that we're preventing injury. All right, we don't want to get injured because then you're going to be out for weeks at least, right? We don't want to get injured. So we want our muscles to be as pliable as possible. If you think of like a rubber band, we don't want it dry and brittle where if you try to stretch it, it pops and it breaks, right? We want to like, loosen it up and keep it stretchy so that when you the winter's going to come, right? If we slip, or if, heaven forbid, we fall, right? We don't want things to rip when we fall, or when there's, it's something we can't plan for happens to our body. The more we can, this will lead us into the three things. The three things that we really need to focus on, no matter what our goal or our age is, one of them is flexibility. All right, that's a good segue into that. So, and for the reasons I was just talking about, flexibility is important, and so many people work out for their health or for weight loss and never stretch, or they stretch for like 30 seconds. We are going to get tighter and tighter as we age, no matter what we do, right? It's just, well, if we're not doing anything, we definitely get tighter and tighter as we age. It's just the way it goes. But we can maintain the flexibility that we have if we work on it all the time. And to some degree, we can become more flexible, depending on how if you're working on flexibility training, because that's one of my specialties. And since the pandemic, I haven't been able. I do facilitated stretching, which is so cool. It's where you lay on a massage table and I stretch you, and I love that certification I have. Facilitated stretching is awesome, but I haven't been able to do it. But maybe we can start including that back in my lives and my clients' lives soon. But either way, I have a lot of knowledge about flexibility training. So let me know if I should put another kind of class like that on the schedule. I'd love all your feedback on my class schedule, because I gotta make a new November one soon. So drop those in the comments too. So the three things that you definitely want to focus on, flexibility is one of them, as well as mobility. So it's not just being able to touch your toes. It's being able, can you reach down your back, or are you stuck over here? Does your shoulder move this way, or can you not scratch your back? Could you not brush your hair, or is getting your coat on challenging? How tight are those shoulders? Mobility of your joints, okay? So flexibility and mobility is one of them. Core strength, super important, which helps a lot with your balance. Core strength, as well as all over strength, but most specifically the core is super important, and balance. All right, so balance, core strength, and flexibility are your three things you want to do, you want to include, no matter what your goals. We as humans need that, okay? They're the three things that decrease as you age. It's just the way it is, and it doesn't have to be that way if we work on it. But it's gonna, right? If we're not doing something about it, it's gonna happen. And that's why everybody falls and breaks their hip, right? Or breaks their arm or whatever. They fall because they don't have great core strength and balance, or let's say they start to fall because they don't have great balance. Then they can't stop the fall because they don't have core strength to do it. And then when they fall, they break or rip things because there wasn't flexibility enough in if we slid out right on the floor, and your arm couldn't do this, it couldn't get to here, it could only get to here, then we rip something, right? So then we get hurt on the fall because we don't have great mobility or flexibility. So those are the three things that are super important. If someone can put those in the comments, if anyone has a keyboard or something, that would be awesome. So core strength, flexibility, and balance, three things have to include, no matter what your goals are. It's my duty as a nutrition coach and a trainer to tell you this. You have to work on it. Okay, so I think that, someone had a question that I didn't answer. So someone asked, what are the best compound exercises I can do from home without any equipment to strengthen my whole body? So compound exercises are where multiple joints are moving. Body weight versions of these things would be squats, split squats. That's where one foot's front, one foot's back, and you're squatting, which looks like a lunge. Lunges move, so the split squat is standing in the same spot, going up and down. So split squats, lunges as well. You can do front lunge. You can step front, step front, you can step back, reverse lunges, you can do side lunges, you can do traveling lunges, you can add like an oblique tilt in there, you could, lots of lunges, you could do lunges. What else can you do? You can do burpees, also called squat thrusts. If you wanted, you can add a push-up to that. Push-up is another compound motion, so you can add a push-up to your burpee. You can do sit-throughs. That's where like you're on all fours and you shoot your leg across, like you turn to the side, you shoot your leg across, and then you shoot your leg across the other way. Bear crawls is another thing on all fours, very challenging, but great. You could do single-legged deadlifts are great. So often deadlifts are done with weight. If I was doing single-legged deadlifts without like a kettlebell or a dumbbell, I take that motion to the floor. I gently tap the floor with my hands and come back up. Always have a slight bend in that standing knee, weight in your heel, hold your abs, let your hips do the motion as you come back up. So single-legged deadlifts can be very effective, and you don't really need extra weight if you're doing single-legged ones. If you're doing regular 2 feet on the ground deadlifts, then most likely you're gonna need some serious. Don't do regular deadlifts with like 3-pound weights. Like you guys are stronger than that. I know you guys can stand. You can sit and stand. You could hold more than 3 pounds, especially for lower body. Come on, ladies. Yeah. So, although this isn't really compound motion, I have a note that I would definitely include planks, because I can tell you're trying to come up with like a home living room workout with works your whole body without equipment, and so just throw planks in there. Center plank, side planks, you can get fancy with your planks. There's like a million variations on planks. Knee taps, single-legged knee taps, plank downward dogs, single leg ones. Like there's just there's like this cool move with it's like a plank walkout into like this thing called a snake, like which turns into a side plank and it comes back. It comes like that one's really cool. That one's like a Pilates one. Either way, variations on planks, include those. And did I answer everybody else's questions? And Curtis, I hope I answered your question about, Curtis had a question about building leg muscles for water sports and doing this at home. So everything I talked about strength training and how to strength train, you're doing that with your leg exercises that would be helpful for water sports. But you really want to balance it. You want to have strength training moves that also lengthen and not just bulk. So actually Pilates is a great practice for that, because we're lengthening as we're strengthening. Because if you bulk up doing exercises that only shorten your muscles and aren't also stretching them, like swimming is like anything in the water is a kind of a stretchy movement, and you're going to be in so much pain if you do all indoor regular strength training for legs and then like for months and then like get in a pool. Like that's going to take a few weeks before you wouldn't be screaming. It happened to my husband because he played several sports and then added in weight training and then tried to swim, and it was like, it's crazy. Okay, so I think I answered all the questions. The last thing I wanted to do was let you know that Mindy Ford Mink won the contest this week. Yay, Mindy! Woohoo! So let's give a shout out to Mindy. She brought in the most new journeyers to our journey group, and so Mindy is winning a free workout class with me. This was the first time that I did a contest in our group, so thank you for all that participated. It was a lot of fun. It was so much fun, and I don't think everyone knew that we were doing it. Maybe I needed to shout it out a little more, that I want, we're going to do it one more time. We're going to have another week. We're going to have one more week, from today till I go live next week to do it one more time so someone else can win a free class. So the rules of engagement for this are you invite people to our group, and there's a little hot pink invite button, and you can invite them that way. If you want, I can also give you the link to our group if you want to message them, because I really would love you guys to invite the people that you want in the group. People that want to be here and are interested in nutrition and fitness, and that want to be here. So don't just invite people that have no interest in this. I want to help everybody, and those people might not want to come. So invite people that want to come, and then and once they join, then you'll be able to tag them in our group. So then you invite them, and then you make a welcome post saying welcome to our group, and you tag them. And we're gonna use a new hashtag for this contest. It's gonna be workout for health. Workout for health. So those are the rules for the contest to win, and I'll try to shout it out a little more this week, and so you have another week to win. So I do teach 6 days a week. I teach Monday through Saturday. I only take off Sunday from workouts and training sessions. I have 30-minute, I call them express classes because they're quickie ones, 30-minute classes and 55-minute classes. These are group classes. The 30-minute ones are open to as many people as my Zoom will fit. And then the 60-minute ones are limited to 6 people per class, so that you get a lot of attention from me, and I can correct you right there in the moment. And we have the ability to take a little more time to work on what the group showing up needs that day. And then I do personal training. So I do personal training also 6 days a week. Yeah, I also do personal training Monday through Saturday. So that's another way to work with me. If you are brand new to working out, that's kind of like my niche. I help people who are injured, have replaced joints, are older, or scared of working out, or have a lot of weight to lose. That's the kind of I don't know. Those are my people. So if not that I can't help other people that are in sports and have big time sportsy kind of goals, I can do that too. But I would love to help you. I'd love to have you guys in a class. Even if you didn't win the free one, there you can get in a class with me for as cheap as $15. And they're live, so I can help you, versus just, I don't know, someone on YouTube that filmed something and they can't tell you, oh my God, you have to bend your knees right there, don't get hurt. I don't let people get hurt. That's the thing. People get hurt with other trainers and come back to me and they're like, oh my God, Katie, I knew I wouldn't get hurt with you. So can I come back? I'm like, yes, of course you can come back. So either way, if you have questions about the classes I teach, let me know. And that was all I had for today. So I hope you had some fun and learned a lot about working out. And go ahead and ask any questions that you guys have. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, either live or on the replay, give me a smiley face or a star or a thumbs up. Let me know if you made it to the end, because you guys rock, because I tried to make it shorter and I didn't. I'm so sorry. So I love you all. And I hope that you guys have a fabulous, fabulous week. And I will see you in our group or at the next training. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.